Is it on now, Madge? Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on.
Okay. What? You need to leave. You're not in this one. You're not in this one right now. No.
This is sad.
Hi.
Sad.
Hi, everybody. Hi. I'm Harry. I'm a friend of Steve Kane's, and he's in that BNI thing that you all are all in. And he's always talking about it. Now he's a BNI member like you are, and then he does some kind of directing things and consultation or whatever it is. And so I'm always asking him about this BNI. I said, what is this thing? What is this? And he told me, he said, well, we help people find business, and then in turn they get business. I went, wow, that's one heck of an idea. I think I like that. How's this thing work, Steve? How's it work? So he told me, he said, well, first off, you got to pay for it. I said, well, you should have to pay for it. I mean, if you're going to make money, it takes money to make money. We all know that. So I'm good with paying money to make money. So I put my money down. Now what do I do? What do I do now, Steve? And he says, well, you got to show up. I say, show up to what? He said, our weekly meetings. I said, okay, I got to show up. And he says, yeah, you got to show up, but you got to participate. You can't just show up. You got to participate. And I said, well, that makes really good sense to me, because if I just gave you my money, I'm going to be there. That makes sense. That seems to make sense to me. Well, what else do I have to do? And he said, well, you got to pass referrals. And I said, well, what the heck's a referral? And he said, well, that's where you find business for somebody and you pass it to them. I said, well, how do I do that? He said, well, sometimes they ask for it in a meeting, and you might know that person. He said, but the real way to get to pass referrals is you meet with your fellow members outside the meeting, and you get to know them. And that way and they get to know you, and then that way you can build trust with each other, and then you can pass business, and then you can get business. And I said, okay. I said, so I go out and meet. He said, yeah, it's called a one-to-one. And I said, a one-to-one? 121? That's the address I grew up on. 121? And he said, yeah, it's a one-to-one. I said, okay, well, then you do a one-to-one. How often do I do that? He said, you try to do one a week. I said, okay, that sounds easy. That seems pretty easy. And then I find out how to refer, and then they refer back to me, and I'm making money, right? And he said, well, that's the way this thing works. And I said, that's great. I like this. What, is there anything else I got to do? Is to be in this BNI thing that you guys do? And he said, we always want people to invite people. We want our members to invite other people that they know, because the bigger the room that we're in, the more opportunity we have to pass business back and forth, and the more money we can make. And I said, well, that seems like a pretty easy thing to do. It makes common sense to me. I mean, if you got more people and you got more opportunity to pass business, and they're going to give me business back, I mean, why wouldn't I want to do that? That just seems natural to me. And so, as I understand what Steve said, was the bigger the room, the more opportunity to make money. And I'm all for making money, aren't you? I am. I know I am. I know Madge wants me to make money. I know she does. And so then I asked Steve, I said, well, okay, so what else do I have to do? And he said, well, you got to learn. And I said, learn what? I'm 63 years old. What do I got to learn? He said, well, you got to learn how to network. You got to continually to get better in business. Does that make sense to you, Harry? And I said, well, okay, yeah, after all the years in business I've been in, I always knew that I had to get better in the business that I was in. I used to own a string of car washes, and so I had to grow with the business world. And so it makes sense to me to learn. But what do I have to learn? He said, well, you learn business, you learn from your fellow members, but you learn how to network. You get better at networking to be able to be successful as you're going to be. And I said, well, this sounds pretty doggone easy. And he said, it is easy. And I said, well, tell me what it is I did again, I got to do. And he said, well, you got to show up and participate. And I said, yeah, okay, I get that. He said, you got to go out once a week, hopefully, and meet a fellow member, and then pass them a business. And I said, a referral. I said, and then you can get one back, hopefully. And I said, okay. And he said, and then you try to grow your chapter by bringing more people into the room. Invite people that you know and people that you like and trust. I said, that sounds good. And then he said, and then you keep learning. And I said, okay. I said, what do you call that? And he said, we call it the power of one. I said, the power of what? He said, the power of one. I said, well, what does that mean? He said, one person can make a huge difference in people's lives in BNI. People's lives, their families' lives, just by practicing those 5 easy steps. And he says, does that sound like a good thing to you, Harry? I said, that sounds like a great thing to me. That sounds like a great thing to me, Steve. I like this thing. So and he gave me the shirt. He gave me the shirt with a B on it. It says the Morning Buzz on it, right? Because he said this thing that I'm filming for, he said it's called the Morning Buzz. So I kind of like that too. So I just want to say, everybody, maybe I'll get to see you in one of these B&I rooms, and so I got to wrap this up. Magic, will you come over and turn this thing off? Because I'm not sure. I can't. The button won't push.
It pushed.
I can't push it.
I'm allowed in now. I'm allowed in now. What are we doing? Harry?
I need you to turn that thing off.
Oh, is this another BMW thing that you were doing? Make up your mind. I'm in or I'm out. I don't know if I'm allowed in or out. Harry, make up your mind. I know one thing. You're taking me to breakfast because I'm starving.